Stop calling it love when it feels like survival. If you have to shrink, silence your dreams, or dim your light to keep someone, that's not romance. That's self-abandonment. What if the reason your relationship feels heavy is because your soul has been carrying it alone? The night Alexa decided to stop shrinking, nothing dramatic happened. No thunder, no music swelling in the background, no grand speech in front of a crowd. Just silence. And sometimes silence is the loudest thing in the universe. She sat on the edge of her bed, phone in her hand, staring at a message she had reread 10 times. You think too much, you're too serious, just relax and enjoy life. It was meant to sound light, casual, harmless. But Alexa felt the weight of it settled in her chest. Because she had heard different versions of that sentence, higher adult life. You're intimidating. You expect too much. You don't know how to just go with the flow. You'll scare men away. Each sentence sounded like advice. Each sentence quiet asked her to become smaller. And she tried. God, she tried. She laughed when jokes weren't funny, pretended not to care about her dreams, lowered her voice when she spoke about her goals, apologized for having standards, apologized for wanting clarity, apologized for asking questions that made people uncomfortable. She called it patience. She called it compromise. She called it love. But deep down, something inside her kept whispering a different word: discomfort. Because the truth is simple and brutal. Your spirit knows when it is carrying more than a room can hold. Alexa met Tony at a wedding party, and he was charming in the easy way people mistake for depth. He made everyone laugh. He knew how to say the right things at the right time. He held doors open. He called her beautiful often. He texted good morning every day. Maybe she was too much, so she ignored the small things, like how he never asked about her work, how her dreams made him change the topic, how her ambitions became jokes in group settings, how every serious conversation ended with, "You're doing too much." The slow erosion of respect rarely announces itself. It arrives like mist, quiet, gradual, easy to ignore, until one day you realize you can't see yourself anymore. The breaking point came on a random Tuesday evening. Alexa had just shared exciting news. She had been offered a leadership role at work. A role she had prayed for, worked for, stayed up nights for. She expected celebration, maybe pride, maybe joy. But in that moment, Alexa felt something inside her finally stand up. Because the man who claimed to love her sounded disappointed by her growth. And suddenly the heaviness made sense. You cannot celebrate your future with someone who secretly prefers your smaller version. That night, she sat on her bed and stared at her phone. A message glowed back at her: "You think too much." For the first time, she didn't feel guilty. She felt awake. Thinking deeply was not the problem. Wanting clarity is not a problem. Desiring purpose was not the problem. The real problem was trying to fit a soul built for depth into spaces designed for comfort. And comfort and growth rarely live in the same house. The breakup conversation was calm. No shouting, no drama, no insults, just truth. "I don't think we're going in the same direction." He laughed softly. "You're overreacting." Maybe she was. Maybe she wasn't. But peace has a strange way of confirming your decisions before the world understands them. She walked away with shaking hands and a steady heart. Loneliness visited her for a while after that. It came in the evenings, in quiet Sundays, in weddings and family gatherings where questions floated like mosquitoes. "Are you seeing someone? You're not getting younger. Your standards are too high." Loneliness whispered, "Maybe they're right." But peace whispered louder, "Maybe they're not." And peace, when you taste it, becomes addictive. Months later, Alexa noticed something strange. Her laughter sounded fuller. Her thoughts felt clearer. Her prayers felt honest again. Her shoulders no longer carried invisible weight. She hadn't found a partner yet, but she had found space. Space to grow, space to breathe, space to become. And sometimes the bravest love story is the one where you stop abandoning yourself. Because settling is not kindness. Shrinking is not humility. Loneliness is not the worst thing that can happen to a person. Living unseen is. I would rather walk alone in purpose than sit in love that asks me to disappear. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.